be in the church. And that guy, his life's changed now. He took her advice, fell in love with Jesus. He's active. He's healed. He's whole. And God's using him to help others. That's the way it's supposed to be. Been talking about it on Wednesday nights. There's no I don't have this cookie cutter stamp method where this is how Jesus will use you. Jesus will use you when you just fall in love with him and just be you. That's it. Fall in love with Jesus and be you. And watch what happens to the people around you. Watch what happens to the people in your sphere of influence. God's love for us is more than mere words. And our love should be too. It's so easy. I've talked about this on Facebook. People put, pray for me. I've got this. And people type prayers, pray, prayers, pray, prayers, pray. Break. Come on. Hopefully people actually do pray. But my suspicion is that most of the time, that's about all the time that gets. We need more than lip service. I got to give more than just my little comment pray or my little heart. Right? Or It's got to be more than that. If it requires me to be inconvenienced, then I'll have to be inconvenienced. If it requires me to give up a couple meals of Mi Casitas so that I can help someone else or help the church out, then I guess I'll just have to give up a few meals of Mi Casita. Jesus demonstrated a love for us that was selfless and self-sacrificing and put others' needs ahead of his own. And he said, my followers are meant to do this. Not just marvel at how awesome I was, but to be like me. To be like me. To love like me. It may mean giving up some of the luxuries that I have. C.S. Lewis said, there's no line where it says this is how much we should give to the kingdom, but it will definitely be more than what we're comfortable with. Mm-hmm. Because it will mean me having less than I want to have, so that others can have more of what they need to have.
Amen.
And I will do it. When I do it in love, I won't sit back going, man, I can't believe I had to give that up. I can't believe that I can't have that now, or go there now, or do this now. And I also won't be looking over my shoulder to make sure that everyone knows that I did it. And I also won't be looking over my shoulder to make sure that everyone's super grateful that I did it. And I'm using it as a way to control people or manipulate. See, love, again, you see how without love, even that giving of time or money or whatever, it becomes destructive. It makes me a bitter, controlling, manipulative person. We need that love, that supernatural love, so that it all has meaning and is effective. Jesus' love was not without pain. Jesus' love for us was painful. It was costly. It was not convenient. I know some of you might be sitting there thinking, gee, you're really selling this. It's going to be painful, it's going to be costly, and I'm going to be inconvenienced. Yeah. That's right. And for too long, the church has shied away from that.
Yeah. That's right.
We've sold it well, let me just give you an analogy. I know some of you have heard it before, but you may have forgotten it, and some of you may have never heard it. Imagine you're going on an airplane ride. And as you're taking off, the flight attendant comes to you, Tracy, and they say, hey, here's a parachute. You should put this on because it's going to make your trip super comfy and you're going to be able to like really relax and sleep well. And also, everybody's going to think you're like the coolest person on the plane for having this parachute on. So you should totally put this on. And so Tracy takes the parachute, being the good little obedient Christian that she is, and she puts her parachute on. And they get about 30,000 feet in the air, and all of a sudden she looks around and she's like, well, how come everybody else doesn't have a parachute on? And then she tries to put her seat back, and she can't. So she can't relax. And she can't get her laptop out. It's just terribly inconvenient and uncomfortable. Right? Yeah. And now she's going, I was lied to. This is not what they said it was going to be. This is not what I signed up for. Screw this. Taking it off. Done with it. It would have been totally different if the flight attendant would have came to Tracy and said, now look, we're going to get about 30,000 feet in the air, and 15 minutes from then the plane's going to go down. And the only hope that you have to survive is if you wear this parachute. It's not going to be comfortable all the time. You won't be able to rest as well as you would have if you weren't wearing it. But your only hope for survival is to wear this parachute. It'll be a few moments of inconvenience and uncomfortability, but you get to live. You see the difference? And that's the difference in how the gospel has been presented to too many people. Come to Jesus. All your problems go away. All your financial problems will be solved. You'll never be sick. It'll just be a bed of roses and all, No. It's not true. Jesus said you will have problems in this world, but don't be afraid because I've overcome this world.
Amen.
But Jesus also said, if anyone wants to be my disciple, if they want to follow me, they will have to take up their own cross. That's an instrument of death, by the way. That means die to yourself. Die to your selfish, self-centered ways. Deny yourself. And follow me. Now, Jesus isn't masochistic. It's not that he wants you to die to yourself because he enjoys seeing you suffer. But Jesus said, I came not to be served, but to serve, and to give my life as a ransom for many. You see, Jesus' followers are meant not to be served, but to serve, and to spend our lives giving and serving others.
Right.
And Jesus knew the only way for that to happen was for us to die to our selfish ways. Because friends, every single one of us, as my pastor Bill Flynn used to say, we're all disgustingly alike. We're all selfish in our core, if we're being honest. We're all self-centered in our core, if we're being honest. Right? I don't like to be inconvenienced. I don't like it when people call me at 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night because I'm their pastor and I'm trying, I'm in bed trying to sleep, my phone rings. Let me be straight up honest with you. I don't jump out of bed and go, oh, joy! I get to lose a few hours of sleep so I can listen to stop my problems again. I don't. But if I wake up and hear my phone ringing, I answer it. Because Jesus called me to serve others. And he didn't call me that because he called me to be a pastor. He called me that because he called me to be a Christian. So you're not off the hook just because you're not a pastor. It won't be convenient all the time. It will be uncomfortable sometimes. But look, this thing's going down. This plane that we call life, Earth, we're made for more than this. We will go on living somewhere when this is over. The question is, will we be ready when it goes down? Now, understand, Pastor, I thought we were saved by grace, not by works. We are. We're saved by grace, and we're kept by grace, by the way. But James said that faith without works is useless and dead. Faith is the way that I'm saved. My willingness to serve is the proof that I've been saved.
Amen.
It's not the means by which I'm saved, but it is the proof that there has been a new birth. That love. Love for Jesus. Love for others. I get concerned. And it's not my place to judge people's hearts, but I've been doing this long enough to where I've seen it. Where I get concerned when I see people and they come to an altar and they pray and even they cry and they make, they get emotional, but there isn't a displayable, discernible love for Jesus. Now, I know that white hot, new birth love, John called it first love, it fades over time, and we have to allow the Holy Spirit to cultivate it. But man, I still remember, I've talked about it before, and Uncle Danny's here, and he remembers it. I remember when I gave my life to Jesus, man, and I remember getting up from that altar, and my heart was set on fire with love for Jesus. I couldn't wait to tell people about it. I didn't always do it in the best way. In fact, I think a lot of times I was self-righteous and probably annoying because I was a young, inexperienced, immature Christian. But it didn't stop me from wanting to tell people about Jesus because I got up from that altar different. I was changed. I was new. I wasn't the same person that I was. And I loved Him. I was in love with Him. And there wasn't anything that was going to stop me from telling people about it. And it's concerning. It should be concerning to the church that we're seeing people converted, but there's no displayable, discernible love for Jesus like that. There's no hunger to be like Jesus. There's no hunger to be transformed. There's no hunger to be with God's people and worship with the community of faith. Only God can see their heart. Only God knows if someone is truly born again. But when I read the Word of God and I see that people in this book who encountered Jesus, the people in this book who this book calls righteous, who encountered Jesus, that they were different after they encountered Jesus. They weren't perfect. My Lord, David made tons of mistakes. And I know he was in the Old Testament. But Peter made tons of mistakes. He was impetuous. He was impulsive. He was a liar. But he was also different.
That's right.
And he was repentant when he messed up. How do I know that? Because the Bible tells us that after he denied Jesus 3 times, that he went out and wept bitterly. When he sinned, it broke his heart. He wasn't callous to it. Because he loved Jesus and he didn't want to disappoint him. It wasn't about not losing his salvation. It was about the fact that he was in love with Jesus. And he knew that what he had done had hurt the one he loved. He wasn't afraid of losing Jesus. He was afraid of hurting Jesus. This message got a lot heavier than I thought it was going to. The fourth thing, this is it, wrapping up. Christian love for others is a choice. It's a choice to engage in loving acts of kindness, and tenderness, and compassion, and protection, and perseverance. It's a choice. It begins with the choice to spend time with Jesus, to allow Him to draw us into deeper love with Him. And that's where the choice starts. Like I said, you won't choose down here. today and then get up and be in love with Jesus. And you won't be in love with people either by coming to this altar this morning. But what you can do this morning is make a choice that beginning today, and this is the choice I'm making because I'm talking to myself too, guys. I'm making a choice today that I'm going to give God more time in my life. I'm going to give him more opportunity to pour his love into me, to draw me into a place where I love him more deeply. Maybe even draw me back to that, what John called my first love. You know, that white hot, fervent love for Jesus that broke my heart, that caused me to stay and tarry at an altar. And I just, to not want to even get up out of his presence. When was the last time that you just got so lost in the presence of God that you just didn't want to get up? That you didn't want to leave his presence? It's been too long for me. That kind of experience, that kind of where I was just lost in his love. I want that. I want that because I know that's what he wants for me. I don't want it so I can get some goosebump experience. It's not about that. It's because that's what he wants for me. Because I'll be the best Charlie I can be. I'll be the Charlie that Jesus created me and made me new and died for me to be. When that's my heart's desire. And by the way, it's the same is true for all of us, all of you. And so the choice that we can make today isn't to choose to love people more, because you can't manufacture it, you can't conjure it up. You can't even choose to love Jesus more today. But what you can choose, as he helps you, you can choose to give him more time. And if you give him that time, if we give him that time, he will change the nature of our relationship with him. We will find that love there, growing, getting deeper, and then we'll be able to love others the way that we're called to. But it starts with loving him. Amen? Would you stand? We're going to share the Lord's Supper today. If I could get Tanner, do you mind to go get the children's church folks? Let them know. If you've never shared in communion with us here, we have open communion as long as you're a follower of Jesus. We want you to share in the Lord's Supper. And Jess, if you want to come on up, we have our deacons serve the elements. Ron will be up here in a second, and I'll have Tanner help them too. If you want to, you can go ahead and start lining up over here. And we will distribute the elements and then